Have you ever, like, found yourself standing in an art gallery just staring at a beautifully detailed painting?
Oh, absolutely. Like you just zone out completely.
Right. And you get so totally absorbed in it that you momentarily, I mean, just for a second, you forget you're looking at a flat piece of fabric.
Yeah, your brain just kind of accepts it.
Exactly. You see the depth, the horizon, maybe the sunlight hitting the water. And for a split second, your brain truly believes you could just step right into that world.
It's a really profound cognitive illusion, actually. The mind just gets entirely captivated by the arrangement of the pigments.
Yeah, the paint just tricks you.
It does. It tricks you so much that it completely overrides the physical reality of the object right in front of you. You basically stop perceiving the canvas and you start perceiving a universe.
Well, today's deep dive is going to take that exact feeling, that specific moment of being totally fooled by a beautiful illusion,
Yeah.
and we are going to apply it to the fundamental nature of existence itself.
Which is a pretty massive leap, but it's fascinating.
It really is. Our mission today is to explore this really dense, uh, provocative philosophical excerpt. It's from a text called Truth, Goodness, and Beauty, the Core Value of Human Nature by Xu Feng from Lifechanyuan.
Right.
And it essentially argues that this illusion we're talking about, it isn't just something that happens in museums. It's happening to you right now in every single second of your life.
Yeah, Xu Feng proposes this framework where the world we see, the world we touch, measure, interact with every single day, it's merely an art form.
An art form, like literally.
Literally. According to this text, the genuine essence of truth, goodness, and beauty is completely hidden from our standard observation.
That's kind of heavy.
It is. It fundamentally challenges the validity of our daily reality. It suggests that everything we consider tangible is just the surface layer,
Yeah.
like just a covering for a much deeper, completely invisible operation.
So, okay, let's start right where the author starts, just so we can get a grip on these massive claims.
Good idea.
The text uses a very specific foundational analogy to explain this, which is the canvas. So, Xu Feng asks us to imagine a completely flat, two-dimensional canvas.
Just a blank slate.
Exactly.
Huh.
On its own, the text notes there is, quote, nothing strange about it. It's just a flat, monotonous surface. No inherent depth, no real meaning.
Right. It's entirely devoid of features until some external force acts upon it.
The painter.
Yes, the text introduces a maestro, a master artist, who applies brushwork to this void. And through that action, the flat nothingness is suddenly transformed into a multidimensional space.
Like magic, almost.
Kind of, yeah. The author specifically describes these beautiful scenes: hovering clouds during the daylight, distant peaks scattered in the background, small bridges with flowing water, flying birds, and walking people.
And when a viewer, like you or me, when we look at this newly created world, we experience what the author calls a sense of distant quiet and vast infinite.
We feel awe.
Right, we feel awe. And then we immediately label the painting itself as true, good, and beautiful. Like, we literally point at the physical object and assign those virtues directly to the paint.
And that, right there, Xu Feng, identifies that specific impulse as our core critical error.
Wait, calling the painting beautiful is an error.
Well, misattributing the beauty is the error. We mistake the physical object for the virtues it evokes in us.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, the text makes a very rigid causal distinction here. The physical paint cannot possess these qualities inherently. It's just wet pigment.
Right, it's just chemicals.
Exactly. The genuine truth, goodness, and beauty are hidden behind the picture. They reside strictly in the artist's heart and mind.
So the painting is just...
It's just an external art form. It's basically a crude transmission device for a non-material reality.
Okay, that makes me think of sitting in a movie theater.
Okay, I like that. How so?
Well, you might be crying at a tragic scene, right? Or totally terrified by a thriller. But if you strip away the illusion, you are literally just staring at projected light hitting a flat screen in a dark room.
Just pixels and light.
Exactly. The actual emotion, the actual truth of that story, it didn't exist on the screen itself. It lived inside the director's head long before the cameras ever rolled.
That's a really great way to put it.
The movie is just the physical translation,
Yeah.
just the tool used to bridge the gap from their mind into yours.
The movie theater is a really solid starting point for this, but Xu philosophy requires taking that logic much, much further.
Further how?
Well, in a movie theater, you at least know you bought a ticket,
Right.
right?
So, I know I'm sitting in a sticky chair.
Right, you have an awareness of the screen. But on this cosmic canvas that Xu is talking about, we don't even know we are in the theater.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we genuinely believe the projected light is the absolute limit of existence. And this raises a really severe problem regarding how we assign value to our surroundings.
Because we're valuing the screen instead of the director.
Exactly. If the physical world is just the medium, we are drastically misinterpreting the source of meaning.
Man, I'm kind of struggling with the implications of that.
It's a lot to wrap your head around.
It really is. Like, if the beauty is solely in the artist's mind, does this text imply that the physical art, and by extension, like our entire physical universe, does it have zero intrinsic value?
That's the logical next question.
Is it all just a disposable container?
Well, the text implies its value is entirely derivative. So physical reality isn't meaningless, but it is definitely not the source of the meaning.
Okay.
It only holds value insofar as it acts as an outward expression of that hidden internal truth.
Okay, I think I get that.
Think of it like the packaging around a gift. If you spend your entire life admiring the wrapping paper, completely ignoring the fact that it is meant to conceal something far more valuable inside, you've fundamentally misunderstood your reality.
That's a brilliant way to phrase it. But wait, if the physical world is just packaging, what does that make us? Like, what does that make human life? Because the text builds directly on that painting analogy, right? It shifts from the literal canvas to a metaphorical one, and it really does not pull any punches.
No, it doesn't. It makes a remarkably bold claim right off the bat. It says we live in a fantasy art world.
A fantasy art world.
Yeah. The text takes the rule of the canvas and applies it directly to human nature and our daily existence.
It uses this phrase that I find incredibly striking. It says we flatter ourselves living truly.
That word, flatter, it's very intentional.
It's so targeted at the human ego. Like, we walk around with this undeniable certainty that we are the main characters of reality.
Of course I do.
Every email, every argument, every minor success we have, it feels like the absolute center of the universe.
But the author's conclusion is that we're actually merely some embellishments on the canvas of artists.
We are just the paint.
We are just the paint. And this requires a massive paradigm shift. It means a person's outward appearance, their behavior, their social status, their wealth, all of that is categorized simply as artistic expression.
It's just the hovering clouds and the distant peaks.
Exactly. The real truth, goodness, and beauty of a human being are concealed deep within, totally invisible to the naked eye.
So the ego is just obsessed with the paint.
Right. The ego relies entirely on the external art form. It only cares about how the paint looks on the canvas.
I have to say, I want to push back on this a little bit, just on the sheer nihilism that this could inspire.
That's a fair reaction.
Because if the physical world is just packaging, and my entire life, my whole identity is just an embellishment, why should I care about anything I do today?
You're asking if this is an excuse to just check out.
Yeah. Like, if I'm just a decorative brushstroke, is this philosophy just giving us a free pass to detach, not care about our responsibilities or impact on other people?
I don't think it's a call for nihilism at all, actually. I think it's more of a recalibration of where you derive your self-worth.
Recalibration. Okay, tell me more about that.
Well, think about it. If you believe you are the paint, then a scratch on the canvas is a catastrophic event.
Right, because that's my whole existence.
Exactly. Your entire identity is fragile because the physical world is inherently unstable. Paint chips. Canvases tear.
Yeah.
So by reducing our daily drama to just embellishments, the text is offering a mechanism for profound detachment from superficial anxieties.
Oh, I see. It's meant to be freeing.
Yes. If your core value is entirely internal and invisible, then all of that external posturing, the pursuit of status, the fear of physical judgment, it's objectively pointless. You can engage with the art form without mistaking yourself for it.
Okay, but that raises an immediate practical problem for me.
What's that?
If my identity, my body, my circumstances, if all of that is just wet paint on a canvas, what happens when the artist decides the painting is finished?
That is the big question.
Does the text address what happens when the physical medium inevitably breaks down?
It does. It explores the concepts of existence and time. through a very specific, and I'd say perhaps unsettling, piece of imagery.
Which is
The pigment being washed off the canvas.
the washing of the canvas. Yeah, the text
Right.
states that once the pigment is washed off, the canvas restores to a monotonous, flat surface.
All the peaks, the bridges, the people, gone.
Completely gone. I mean, honestly, that sounds like an apocalypse.
Well, it would be an apocalypse if the story ended right there. But it doesn't.
Okay.
The text outlines a continuous cosmic cycle. The author explains that after a change of time-space, the true self, that essential hidden core we were just discussing, it restores to its original life status quo.
Original life status quo.
Right, and from that state of pure potentiality, it makes a fresh start to another art form.
Okay, let's unpack that phrase change of time space, because it feels like a massive sci-fi concept just casually dropped into the text.
It does sound a bit sci-fi, doesn't it?
Is Xu Feng talking about a literal physical destruction of the universe here? Or is this more of a philosophical shift in dimension?
In the context of this philosophy, a change of time-space refers to the transition between manifestations.
Manifestation, so like iterations of reality.
Exactly. Our current three-dimensional reality, moving linearly through time, is just one specific configuration on the canvas.
Okay.
When that configuration concludes, whether on an individual level, like through mortality, or on a grand cosmic level, the underlying reality doesn't end.
The parameters just change.
Yes, the
Yeah.
parameters of the art form simply dissolve. The original life status quo is a state completely free from those specific physical constraints. It's just waiting to be projected onto a new coordinate of time and space.
You know what this reminds me of?
What?
It reminds me of the Tibetan monks who create those incredibly intricate sand mandalas.
Oh, that's a beautiful comparison.
Right, because they spend weeks painstakingly placing millions of these tiny grains of colored sand to build this breathtakingly complex universe.
And then they destroy it.
Exactly. The moment it is finished, they deliberately sweep it all away.
Yes.
Or, I guess to use a more modern everyday analogy, it's like a cosmic etch-a sketch.
Yeah, on an Etch-a-Sketch.
You draw this really complex reality, and then the universe just shakes the screen, wipes it totally clean, and you start over.
Both are really apt analogies because they capture the intentional impermanence of the medium.
The monks don't cry over the swept sand.
No, they don't mourn it at all because the value was in the intention and the practice, not the physical preservation of the colored dirt.
Right.
Synthesizing this with Shui Feng's text, the paint, which represents our bodies and our specific circumstances, it's temporary. It will absolutely be washed away.
But the canvas itself.
The canvas itself and our true original essence remain totally unharmed. The essence survives the washing.
Okay, that makes sense conceptually. But practically speaking, I am stuck here in a physical body on the canvas right now. If true reality is off canvas and everything around me is just temporary paint, how am I supposed to access that hidden truth? How do we perceive the artist's mind while we are literally trapped in the pigment?
This is where the text makes a major pivot. It transitions from a philosophical diagnosis of reality into an actual inventory of human capability.
Okay.
The author provides a breakdown of our perceptive tools. He states that humans possess 6 perceptions.
6 perceptions rather than the standard 5. So the text lists vision, hearing, olfaction, which is smell, taste, touch, and then it introduces a 6th sense.
Yes, a 6th sense called telegnosis.
Telegnosis.
But before we define telegnosis, we have to examine the severe limitation the text places on those first 5 senses.
The normal ones.
Right. Xu Feng states that vision, hearing, smell, taste, and touch rely purely on artistic substances as their media.
Meaning they require physical matter to function. Light waves, sound waves, physical particles.
Precisely. And because these 5 senses require a physical medium, the author establishes an absolute rule. They are fundamentally locked into perceiving only external art forms. They are physically incapable of perceiving essential characteristics.
Okay, so relying on our 5 senses to understand the universe, it's like trying to understand how a computer processor works by just feeling the heat coming off the laptop.
Oh, that's a really good one.
You're interacting with the byproduct, the heat, but you have zero visibility into the actual code being executed inside the machine.
That captures the limitation perfectly. The 5 senses only measure the artifact. They can never measure the intent.
Wow.
If you use your eyes to witness an act of profound generosity, the text argues you are not actually seeing goodness.
Wait, I'm not.
No, you are seeing physical bodies move through space. You're seeing the artistic manifestation of goodness. But you cannot use a physical tool to measure a non-physical reality.
But look at the friction between that philosophy and how we actually live today. I mean, our modern world is aggressively, fundamentally data-driven.
Oh, absolutely. We want proof for everything.
Yes. We demand empirical evidence. If we can't see it, hear it, or measure it with an instrument, we declare it doesn't exist.
Right.
I mean, we spend billions of dollars building particle accelerators to find the ultimate truth of the universe by literally smashing physical matter together.
Trying to find the smallest piece of paint.
Exactly. So if the first five senses are fundamentally locked out of true reality, isn't our entire modern scientific worldview completely blind according to this text?
According to this framework, yes. The modern empirical worldview is not just blind, it's applying an intense amount of effort in the exact wrong direction.
Because we're just analyzing the paint.
By restricting our definition of truth strictly to what the five senses can verify, we have voluntarily trapped ourselves inside the illusion.
We're studying the wrapper and ignoring the gift.
Exactly. We are endlessly analyzing the chemical composition of the paint, believing that if we just categorize the pigment well enough, we'll finally understand why the maestro painted the canvas in the first place.
And the text is saying that's impossible.
The text suggests this is a categorical error. Empirical measurement will never yield ultimate truth, because ultimate truth does not reside in the artistic material platform.
Which brings us back to that mysterious sixth perception, telegnosis.
Telegnosis.
If the five senses are the wrong tools for the job, how does this alternative actually work? Because, I'll be honest, saying it's just intuition, that feels like a bit of a cop-out to me.
It does sound vague at first.
Like, how does someone actually use telegnosis? Are we talking about, deep meditation or some kind of sudden mystical epiphany?
Well, the text describes telegnosis as the sole perception capable of surpassing the artistic material platform.
Okay.
Now, Shui Feng doesn't provide a step-by-step mechanical manual in this specific excerpt, but we can deduce its function from the surrounding logic.
Now so.
If the five senses are outward-facing, engaging with the physical medium, then telegnosis has to be inward-facing. It engages directly with the essence.
So it bypasses the physical completely.
Right. It represents a non-material apprehension of reality. It's a direct knowing that bypasses the physical senses entirely.
It sounds a lot like, akin to the concept of gnosis in ancient Greek philosophy, or maybe the realization of Maya, the illusion of the physical world, in Eastern mysticism.
It firmly places this text within that long historical tradition of thought, for sure.
It requires a deliberate tuning out of the empirical data to access the underlying frequency.
That's the core demand of telegnosis. It's a shift in attention.
A shift in attention.
Yes, because as long as your attention is entirely consumed by the loud, demanding data of the five senses, the daily drama, the pursuit of material wealth, the physical appearance of things, telegnosis is just drowned out.
The static is too loud.
Exactly. To utilize it, one has to actively recognize the physical world as a mere embellishment. And by doing that, you strip it of its absolute authority over your mind.
Wow. So pulling back from all of this, what Sui Feng is really asking us to do is entirely reframe our relationship with literally everything we encounter.
Every single thing.
We started today by recognizing how easily a 2D painting tricks the brain into seeing a 3D world, right? We mistake the paint for the virtue it represents.
Right.
Then we turn that lens on ourselves, confronting the highly uncomfortable idea that our own egos, our statuses, our physical bodies, they might just be temporary brushstrokes waiting to be washed away in a cosmic cycle.
The washing of the canvas.
And finally, we had to face the limitation of our own biology, that our five primary senses are biologically restricted to only showing us the illusion.
The value of this deep dive for you, the listener, really lies in its practical application to your perspective.
How so?
This text provides a radical framework for evaluating what is truly real in your daily life. It is a challenge to pause before you react to the physical world.
To not just react to the paint.
Right. When you face an obstacle or when you find yourself harshly judging another person based on their appearance or status, this philosophy invites you to look past the superficial artistic expression.
Look past the embellishment.
Yes. It asks you to recognize that the genuine truth, goodness, and beauty of any situation are hidden far beneath the surface, completely immune to the washing of the canvas.
It really forces a total reevaluation of where you invest your attention. And honestly, it leaves me with a pretty big question for you to mull over.
Let's hear it.
If telegnosis is genuinely the only way to surpass the material world and directly perceive real truth, goodness, and beauty, how much of your daily energy are you currently wasting by constantly feeding those 5 limited senses?
That is the question.
What happens to your perception of reality if, just for a moment today, you actively try to tune out the noise at the canvas and listen for the hidden maestro instead?